Hello, and welcome back to another video where we're going to be analyzing actually a store treasure cup that I took part in. It's a local one, not one of the online ones, but duking it out for one of those treasure cup pudding cards. This is round one. All in all, this was a 5-round store treasure cup, and we're really duking it out for that pudding card. Let's see if we can actually obtain it. Usually how it's done is there are 2 pudding cards given out, and at the end they're usually given out to the first and second place. So round one, we get paired against Blackbeard. My opponent here playing the Blackbeard is actually a very dangerous player, very skilled on Teach, and probably one of the best in the city. The matchup is very favored for GP, but when playing against this player, he can usually give you quite the hard time, and we're going to see how this one plays out. Without further ado, let's get started. So I win the dice roll, and I opt to go first. Even though I'm more comfortable going second, I do opt to go first because it's technically better. I opt to mulligan that hand just because I think it was a bit greedy, and in hindsight it's very greedy. I did have the Sanji Pudding to play on 5, but I had nothing else before or after. Realistically, I should have just kept it because then at least I can confirm the Sanji Pudding coming out at 5. I would like Stage also in the matchup, otherwise they can easily get rid of it. We can see the hand we draw into is horrendous, so big regrets on mulliganing that, but we're hoping to draw into the pieces that we need. Blackbeard starting off with My Era, great start of course, and then getting the Kuzan, trashing the other 2 cards. Throughout this series, you're gonna see the POV, the camera angle that I'm recording in shifts between rounds. I'm just testing out different camera angles. Feel free to let me know in the comments if there's any specific one that you guys prefer, so I can continue to record in that. For now, it's all experimental. Alright, so playing out the Lafitte on Blackbeard's turn and getting a stronger 2k. We still don't have anything to play coming up on 5 Dawn, so very mediocre opening, and it seems to be a trend because every time I go up against Blackbeard, my Sanji Puddings are just missing in action, and yeah, it's pretty rough. So it's important there that Blackbeard actually searched into 6-cost Liberation, and this is going to dictate a lot of how we play around this game. Knowing that he has it, we obviously don't want him to get that tempo value of using it, clearing out 2 of our bodies. Not that we have those bodies to play in hand. So we take the first life very comfortably, and thankfully we do get the stage. It's a droplet of water in this dry desert Sahara. We do have Zoro, we have a couple searches to play out, so I anticipate on this turn we're probably going to play the event search and Zoro. We could also just play the stage in Zoro, just establishing that stage, but I think it's better to go with the event just to dig a little bit deeper since we're so thirsty for resources. And you'll see here, I think it was in hindsight a bit of a mistake. I decided to go 5 into life, playing around the fact that I want to play Zoro and I want to play around 6-cost Liberation. The truth of the matter is you always want to trail behind them in number of characters by like 1, and the board is reset at this point, so if I kill his Lafitte, I can play the Zoro comfortably, and I shouldn't have to be that scared of 6-cost Liberation. This, I think, was a mistake. It's only if maybe I have 2 bodies on board and he has a Lafitte, I can choose to ignore it then. But in this case, I think it was definitely incorrect to ignore the Lafitte. He does end up giving us the 1k counter, protecting his life early. But now he just freely searches with the Lafitte, being able to dig deeper into his deck for the pieces that he needs. So I think that was pretty noticeable mistake. I stand by not killing the Lafitte, but given at least if maybe we have 1 more body on board, like if we had to play a Nami searcher at the beginning, then we can ignore it, but in this case we only have Zoro. So drawing out of life again, we still don't get any of our pieces. The Teach player plays Kuzan, deliberates for a little bit, asks how much Dawn we're going to. We are going to 7. It is technically a Luffy Taro turn, which we do have in hand, and I was surprised he gave me the on-plays here. Unfortunately, if you see the hand, we have nothing to play off of Luffy Taro except for Usohachi, which I didn't really want to do. So yeah, we actually don't play Luffy Taro, I think here. I mean, we could plop him down for the body, but I decided to take a gamble here and just not play the Luffy Taro and instead play the stage, establishing the stage, and maybe potentially drawing into something. The fact that he did also play the Kuzan, I think we definitely should have swung into the Lafitte here. We choose to again not do so. We go 6 into life, and if I'm not mistaken, he does counter out of this one as well, opting to stay healthy going into the later stages of the game where 6 cost Luffy is a big threat for them. So I'm here really deliberating if I do want to play the Luffy Taro and play nothing off of it. If I maybe want to just play that 4 cost Zoro, and like I said, we do play the stage, and lo and behold, look who decides to grace us. It is Sanji and Pudding. So great draw off the stage. And we can play out that Sanji Pudding. Like I said, if we did plan to play another character on this turn, it's still safe to swing into the Luffy. Do not make that mistake. It is good to play around 6 cost Liberation, but I think I was trying to be too safe here and ended up just playing against myself. So we leader effect in order to activate the stage, giving the +2 cost to Sanji Pudding, leaving us with 4 Dawn. And now I guess to reinforce the idea as to why I didn't kill the Lafitte, or I don't plan to kill the Lafitte, I think we do end up playing the 4 cost Zoro. This way we can always stay at least only 1 character card above Teach. So 6 into lead. And he gives us another 2k. So he's pitched at least 2 2ks so far, which is good. Like I said, they're kind of fragile. They don't run too many 2ks. So it's good to keep track of that moving in later into the game. All right. So here, with Kuzan on board, they have obviously a bunch of options. They can obviously utilize the swing with Kuzan before trashing him to play out another character. And we can see in their trash they have Van Augur, they have a Docu. They don't have a Burgess, at least I don't see one from this angle. So maybe that's not an option for them. They're gonna search first with Lafitte, thinking on what they want to grab based off what's in their hand. I guess their main goal this turn is to clear the Sanji Pudding. They don't want us to get that recurrent value of ramping back the Dawn after we leader effect. They grab another 2k, so they're really seeing a bunch of their 2ks here. And here's the first surprise of the game. They play out a Tempest Kick, and I've seen people testing with this card at the beginning of the format, but some of them have dropped it, and it actually does some really good work for him here. So definitely not pleased to see Tempest Kick. He is obviously at that 10 card in trash threshold, and yeah, my biggest fears come true. He minuses 3 the Sanji Pudding, and because Kuzan is on board, we imagine he's probably gonna trash the Kuzan to play out the Van Augur, and then can still play out a Docu, killing the Sanji Pudding and still having 4 Dawn remaining, maybe swinging 9 into Zorojuro. So they search with stage, trashing the 6 cost Liberation, knowing that we're playing around it, but they end up actually just finding another one, maybe no other options, or maybe they just thought, okay, I might as well at least keep 1 in hand. Alright, so decide to swing 6 first with Kuzan into Zoro. We should defend this because we anticipate them clearing at least the Sanji Pudding, so we want to keep the other bodies on board. And there's the trash, they draw, and I imagine it's going to be Van Augur, because there still is... Oh, they actually pick up the Docu. No, yeah, it is the Van Augur. And if they want to play a Docu, they can play that for 2 and swing 8 into maybe Zorojuro, requesting another 2 cards. And I believe from our hand, we're kind of bricked at this point in the game, so we don't really have all of those resources to expend. So that would be very strong if he's able to do that. But I think because he deliberated on picking up the Docu, he might not have it in hand actually. And if that's the case, that's really good for us. And yes, indeed, he plays actually a Kuzan for 5 just to get that Docu out. Unfortunate for the Teach player, because if he had that Docu in hand, he was already in kind of a commanding position, and he'd be an even more so of one. So he decides to pitch for negating on plays. And we draw into, so finally the Sanji Puddings are coming out. We were in a bit of a drought at the beginning, but it's good to see them come out right now. I think here again, we should probably opt to kill the Lafitte. Since they already have a Van Augur and Docu on board, and even if we play another character, again, we just want to be one character card above them. Alright, so they negated on plays here, so unfortunately, when we can't play Leaf Futaru with Senji Pudding, we're not able to. So yeah, that kind of sucks. And unfortunately, I don't think I go after the Lafitte. I just go 5 into a lead. But I am also getting cards out of their hand, which is really great. And if they're pitching for on plays, we're again just reducing their hand size. They pitch another 2k here. And here comes... Oop, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm not used to this POV, so I kind of knocked over the camera a little bit. I will correct the angle. I know it's a bit sideways right now. So we play Sanji Pudding with leader effect, and we have 6 Dawn to spare. Using stage on Sanji Pudding. So I think here a really good option is to play out Luna, so we don't have to worry about him KOing our 4 costs, and we can use the rest of the Dawn to just swing into face, finally taking them down to 3 life. Luna freezing that whole board. Usually I like to save the Luna for the Burgess, but it doesn't look like that's his plan so far this game, because he's already gone into 10 Dawn and no Burgess has come out. So we'll just use Luna where we can to try and keep the board. They go 5 into the Zoro. We actually Gum here, which might seem a bit strange, but I was trying to cycle through the deck. I was at a comfortable Dawn level at this point where I didn't mind going Dawn -2. And keeping the body on board and just trying to dig a little bit deeper because I wasn't too happy with what was in hand. We didn't actually end up drawing something that much more useful, but I think it was an okay decision just to dig. Alright, so they grab another 2k. And then the 10 cost Teach comes out, stunning the Sanji Pudding. It's important no one Teach stun Sanji Pudding. If you use leader effect, you cannot grab that ramp Dawn back because the card is useless. So, alright, so now we're at, I think, 7 total Dawn. Yeah, it looks like 7 total Dawn. Apologies for the glare. I should probably find a better lighting spot to record these in the future. Alright, so looking over our hand here, probably wanting to just play another Sanji Pudding. And I reiterate, I think now is probably a good time to kill that Lafitte. They have a 10 cost Teach that isn't going anywhere anytime soon, and 2 other characters. So we're going to play out the Sanji Pudding, leader effect, and we only ramp the 1. So I was about to ramp the 2 and reminded myself that no, one of them is stunned. 5 Dawn left to go. So in case they don't have another 10 cost Teach, just killing that Lafitte, bleeding them dry of getting an extra draw every turn. I think we're safe to do so right now. We have technically 3 swings here. Zoro, Zorojuro, and Leader. So yeah, he gives up the Lafitte. It's finally gone. We're at 1 character card above them, which technically we could have achieved earlier on in the game as well. But yeah, so 7 into lead. Trying to request 2 cards from them and they just take that. We can swing again with leader, but most likely they're just gonna block it, so technically we just have 4 Dawn free to do whatever we want here. So just doing a little bit of calculations for next turn. If I want to keep it Gum up, how much Dawn I'll have left. So we go 7 into lead. As predicted, they just block, and I think here we're just safe to just pass. It's fine if we have 3 Dawn up. We use stage, never forget to use the stage, and we pass it back to Teach. So 5 into Zoro. Now, I think this is another mistake. I just quickly gave it up. I think it is actually worth giving up the 1k counter in our hand for it, because we know that with Van Augur Docu, they can clear probably the Zorojuro or maybe the Sanji Pudding if they want to, if they have some sort of a reduction. We know they have a stronger. But they actually opt to swing with the Teach into it and then just clear the entire board, Shiganing the 5 cost and then minus Black Hole into the other one, and just like that, very, very, very dangerous position. We lost our entire board. and they have a chump blocker that's going to stop our aggression this turn. I think we need to, this is about time where we want to play the 6 cost Luffy. We want to put that presence on the board. It's good we have another one as backup insurance. So it's definitely good to just place that out. Our goal this turn, our only goal, is for him to use that Vasco shot. I don't want that Vasco shot to stick around when the teach is back to being standing. I want it gone so I don't have to worry about it as an extra blocker. So we'll see if playing this Luffy can maybe force them to block with that Vasco. So we're going to stage it, just try and get that extra protection on it. Leader effect, hemorrhaging 2 Dawn to try and set ourselves as a 6k base. And there's really nothing else we want to play. So we're just going to go 7 to lead, requesting 2 cards from their hand. They actually take it. It's good for us. We're one step closer to trying to take the game, and then we go 8 lead, hoping they actually block. We don't mind if they go to 0, but yes, I really want them to block here because then there's only 1 blocker we have to worry about. We kept 2 Dawn up to potentially see if we can protect the Luffy if they swing into it with the teach. But if they do that, they'd probably want to confirm it, because if they're going to rest their blocker, they want to make sure that Luffy is dead, not to clap back on the next turn. So instead of using the Van Augur minus, he opts to go 6 lead. We'll just take that because we stayed at 2 life. And we want the Dawn to protect ourselves as much as we can. And a 10 cost comes out, stunning the 6 cost Luffy. So unfortunately, we cannot swing with him next turn. And he has the 2 blockers, the thing we feared last turn so much. Still at 1 life, but their hand has bled quite a bit. I think they have 3, if I can see clearly. I think 3 left in hand. We don't really have too much to play this turn. If we play the 6 cost Luffy, they have 2 blockers and a life. We cannot kill them because the current Luffy on board is stunned. So we'd have a maximum of 3 swings, and the best case we can do is get them down to 0, which is not the goal. So I want to try and keep that 6 cost Luffy in hand to maybe hopefully play it the next turn, if we can survive. We have only 1 Gum Gum in hand, but we have a couple of 2Ks, a couple of 1Ks as well. Now I think long and hard here what it is I want to do. I consider playing 7 cost Luffy Taro. They did pitch for on plays, but just getting that 8k power stat down on the board. I considered playing the Sanji blocker because we are 2 less Dawn than our opponent. I believe we're at 8 right now. I consider playing Zoro Juro, which seems maybe not like the best strategy because, like I said, they do have Van Augur Doku on board and it's just a free pop for them. But if I can maybe play Zoro Juro as well as maybe the Frankie or the Sanji blocker, I think it might be the play, because my goal here is to just get 2 bodies out on board. And if they want to use the Van Augur and Doku to rest and kill the Zoro Juro, even better because they're not going into life. So I think I opt to do that. Yeah, we play the Zoro Juro. We don't have on plays, so we just play it. We leader effect, again, bleeding another 2 Dawn. Going down to 6 Dawn, knowing that next turn if I use 1 Gum Gum, I'll still have enough Dawn to play the 6 cost Luffy. So it's really important to always just keep track of that Dawn management. So he just blocks the 6k. Very obviously, we don't have another swing, so he's just not going to bother pitching a card or taking life. We play out the 3 cost Sanji, keeping 3 Dawn up in case we get into another Gum Gum if we need it. Obviously, like I said, I don't want to play more than 1 Gum Gum this turn because I want to stay at least 6 Dawn going into next turn. And even better if my 6 cost Luffy on board can stay alive. So he pitches a 2k actually for stage to grab a 1k. Maybe was looking for another teach. But I don't know if another teach would even do it. 3 blockers, but we would have had Sanji, Zoro Juro, leader, and the 6 cost Luffy. So probably not the play there. I guess then alternatively, they have to try and push for a game, either by being able to KO the Sanji blocker and push with those 2 monstrosities on the field, Or just clear as much as the board as they can while keeping their blocker standing. They start with a 6k, attaching actually a Dawn to leader, indicating they're not playing the 10 cost each. So we'll just give that Nami. They play out stronger to -2, and now what are they going to minus? They actually opt to minus the Luffy. They don't want us to swing with it next turn, so it becomes a 4, and then they can rest Augur, Dock Q to kill the 4 drop. Now, I talked to the Teach player after the game, and this was actually a mistake by them. They should have actually done the same strat to Sanji, and with the 9 Dawn remaining, or 8 if they already attacked 6 with lead, they should have just attacked with the double Teach, killing the blocker and trying to take game. I guess they sort of put me on having the 6 cost Luffy, because in this board state, if I don't have the 6 cost Luffy, I don't think I can take game. I don't really have the tools to do so, especially if they kill another body on board. So thinking long and hard, and I think, yeah, realizing that they should have probably killed the Sanji, maybe hoping I don't have that 6 cost Luffy. Let's see what they do with the 8 Dawn. The game is really coming down to a close. It's really this turn or the next turn that's going to decide the game. 4 Dawn, they play out Laboon and Shigan actually to kill the Sanji blocker, leaving us with just 1 attacker, but no cards in hand. So actually, because they have no cards in hand, we're going to try and just go for a game here. We can just swing 5s or 6s. I opt to swing first here. I'm going to pause for a second because this is just very important. With the Zoro, on the Teach side, it's incorrect for him to take the life. He definitely wants to block this because he knows the only way that I can get through these is the 6 cost Luffy, and he only wants to take this life when after I play the 6 cost Luffy, because if he gets that liberation trigger, he can negate the rush or black hole. He can negate the rush of 6 cost Luffy, and he'll win the game. So I try to go in with a 6 just to get this life out of the way, but obviously they know better. They're just gonna block that, asking me to play that 6 cost Luffy. So we're gonna play it out. There's no other way, because if I swing with leader, they're just gonna block again. And we just have to go with it. 7k with the Luffy, and they're gonna happily take it, hoping to get that trigger. We restand it, they don't get it. 7 again, and that's just math. We have 8 with lead, and that is game. A very close one. Got punished for the mulligan and made some bad decisions by not killing the Lafitte, allowing them to just get a couple of extra cards. It's important to play around 6 cost liberation, but I think we could have cleared that Lafitte and still played around it, just not spamming the board. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.